episode of Attention. I'm your host, Coach T, and today we have a special guest. His name is Jamal Prothro. He's 34 years old. He's from Heflin, Alabama. He went to Auburn University. He has a degree in accounting, and he also attended JSU, which is right down the street, Jacksonville State University. Hey, you know what I'm saying? How you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good to have you. Good to have you. So, personally for you, do you need to be, to have, or to feel?
Well, I guess you could say before I used to want to be popular, famous, all these things. I used to want to feel, loved and all these other things. But now I'm to the point where I just want to have. I want to have a deeper connection with God and people, because that's what's going to get me to where I need to go.
Okay. So give us a little bit about your background.
Well, as you stated, I'm 34 years old, from Heflin. Go Tigers. Also from JSU. Go Gamecocks. I did go to Auburn for about a year, but I moved back home to help take care of my mother, who was sick, of course, at that time. And, continued my education at Gaston State Community College. Go Cardinals. Got my degree from there. And then I went to JSU. I was going to school for secondary math education, but I decided to, I want a little extra money. I want to deal with these little bad A kids. And, just to get my bread, because these kids that I've been adopted a couple eyes and been lost a job already if I went for my natural degree field that I chose to do, but I got a degree in accounting instead.
Okay. So you were mentioning a few minutes ago that you had to come back to go to JSU because your mom got sick. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Of course, my mom, her name is Vivian. She was 53 when she passed. She passed the day after Thanksgiving. But of course, she had health problems as far as she was a diabetic. She had enlarged heart, congestive heart failure. She had a lot of things going on. But she was a strong woman, not only in herself, but in faith in Christ and stuff. So she lived a good life. She was able to see her grandkids grow up, her kids grow up to be somebody or to move forth towards that direction. And, she even though she's not here with me anymore, I still feel she's here with me in spirit.
Right. That's how I be feeling too, man. So, I know, it was been a little bit difficult trial with you going through grief. You lost your grandmama, then you lost your mom, and then you lost your sister. So do you want to talk a little bit about that before we get into?
Sure. Of course, it used to be hard for me to talk about it, and then I guess you got to the point to where I used to talk about it all the time. So how you get on people's like, oh, I'm just tired of hearing them talking about this mess. Like, when can we move forward with something else?
Right.
But people don't understand grief. There's different levels of it, and people have different time periods of it as well. So with mine, of course, it was a little different from my siblings. My brothers, they're both married. So, of course, if you know who my brothers are, one of them is the famous football player, Jamal Prothro from Alabama. The other one is Quentin Prothro. And so after my grandmother passed away, it was 5 days after my birthday. So that was in 2019. And then 6 months to the day she passed away, my mother passed away, the day after Thanksgiving, November the 29th. And then almost 6 months to the day after that, my sister passed away. So we had 3 generations of, women pass away within a year. And so after that, of course, they passed away. It was grieving, having to grieve. My brothers, some had their wife, their kids, to help them through it. I had no one.
Right.
And then, of course, I then became a legal guardian of my nephew, my sister's son, and we began to, have to do this thing together because he lost the 3 most important women of his life who helped raise him from a child. And then here I am having to step into that role of a father for a child who he's autistic, but he's great. He's a love. He has a lot of love. He has a lot of joy, and he's shown me, I guess, a different side of myself that I didn't know I had myself. He's taught me patience, kindness, and love for others, and just to put people before I put myself sometimes.
Right. Like you was mentioning, about the grief thing. Yeah, people don't understand it because when I lost my mom, December 31st, I like to say they say the best for last. My siblings, were other people, and it's like, it's not that they forgot about me, but it's like I had to realize, like, hey, they're also going through it too. So I got to figure out a way to be strong for me.
Right.
And as I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm realizing you had to do the same thing, and I want to say that I'm proud of you because it takes true strength to be the one to know that you're in a dark hole and be able to pull yourself out of it.
Likewise.
Right, so I'm proud of you.
Well, to piggyback on that, because I know you asked me the question, how was it? Now, granted, of course, my grief was different from theirs. Now, granted, of course, they say, oh, you make mistakes, you do these things. Granted, I did things that I wanted to do at that time, and I don't regret them. right? There are some things, of course, that I've done that they think, oh, you were just this and that. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I was just grieving.
Right.
I was just going through my grief as I wanted to go through it, as I needed to go through it, and I always knew who I was 100%.
Right.
I know me. I've always known me. You probably can tell when growing up, I've always known who I was. But people don't know, people don't understand that when you know who you are 100%, that I got me. I know how far I can go. I know where I can go, how much I can do, what I can do. I got that under control. I don't need your help. It's when you try to help me is when I start to fumble and mess up and it's like, oh crap, and it makes it look like, dang, he was worse off than we thought.
I don't look at it as help. I look at it as judgment, because if you needed help, you would be at rock bottom or you would be like in jail or something like that. I feel like sometimes people like to overstand what they would do and put that onto somebody else because I'm not doing what you're doing.
Or until
what I'm doing gets me in trouble to where I need help, that's not the room I aspire to be in, boo. I aspire to be in rooms that I want to become, I want to be. You know what I mean? And so as siblings, because I know it's your siblings, right? Because we got siblings. I have a bunch of siblings. You do too.
Yeah.
They want the best for us. They just don't have the best tactics or
understanding of us.
The way to communicate what they're trying to say without it seeming like it's overbearing.
And the good thing
or
about
them trying to tell me what to do.
And even though the good thing about this is we're family too, right?
Right.
And we're family, and our families coexist because your sister's my best friend, right?
Right.
And all of these things coexist together, and it's like, we know all things, but yet it's like we know nothing at the same time.
Right.
Because you think we grew up together, but we think you know me, but you changed. I have changed. People don't understand when you mentally go through something in life, when you lose 3 people at one time within a year. You know how you see people who are always childish? They're growing up, but they're childish? When they're childish, of course, that's because they have a parent there, I feel.
Right.
Right. They have that mindset where they can fall back on that person to say, okay, well, I can start over again.
Right.
But when you lose a parent, you have to mentally grow up. And then, of course, most people only do that one time within a year. But when you do that, you mentally have to grow up. Mentally. That's a lot to do. And I had to do that 3 times within a year. Now, I'm not saying my brothers did too, of course, but I had to do that. I had to do that alone.
Right.
3 times. And I had to change 3 times. And then I had to change my mindset another time to become a parent.
Yep.
So not only did I had to do 3 times, I had to grow up, and then the 4th time I had to be it's not all about me anymore. It's about someone else.
Right.
And so it's like when I thought becoming a parent was going to be better for me, it was better for me. Don't get me wrong, because I know that he grounds me to be responsible.
Right.
Because I can go out and do all things through Christ who strengthens me, but I have to be mindful that I have a child at home. Right? I can't just go out here and just leave and go and do what I used to do. I have to come home. I have to make sure he's fed at nighttime. I have to make sure he's in the bed at certain time. I have to make sure he's at school the next day because I ain't trying to go to church court. But like you said before, it makes you remember, like, hey, it's deep. It is deep.
See, in my case, I didn't have to take on a child after, but in my case, it made me realize that each day was different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had to figure out how to relive each day, like, without her.
Right. Have you ever noticed that, our parents are pairing parents, right?
Yeah.
And like when your parents are alive, it's like nothing could stop, nothing could come to you, nothing could penetrate you, nothing could touch you.
Right.
But when they passed away, it's like you became vulnerable to the world.
Right.
Like, did you? It was like, oh my God, how do the people know me? How can they touch? How can they touch me? How can they even know who I am?
Because my mom, she was like that shield, like even when I didn't need her to
It's crazy.
And so it's like now, that's why you got me doing attention. That's why you got me speaking up for myself more, because it's like that shield is gone. So it's like if you thought my mom was a problem, oh baby, I'm not done yet.
Right.
I'm coming.
I'm
what
coming.
I'm saying? Like that's how it's going.
I'm having to build myself now.
Right.
That's I know spiritually, of course, we have spiritual. I know you have you're getting to where you are spiritual now, right?
Yes.
But I've always been in the spirit. I've always been spiritual, right? So knowing and understanding that, I've never pushed to say, hey, you should do this or whatever, right? At the end of the day, we talk, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that my mom was a praying mother, and I didn't have myself. But I'm telling you, it was like when she passed away, all hell broke loose in my life. It's like I know how to pray and all these things, but it's like you kind of forget. It's like kind of like walking again.
Yeah.
It's
you got to learn to redo everything over
by yourself,
because it's without a person that was there this whole time
and would have been there no matter what.
Dog, how do I call and give get this information because I would normally call my mom before I get ready to walk out on a job. Hey, Mom,
guess
what you think about this? Like,
right.
I'm finna walk out. Mom would be like, go ahead, baby. Oh, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying?
Because I can always go home.
Now I don't have that stamp.
Right.
So now I got to be that stamp for myself.
And it's hard because you don't want to mess up. You don't want to make the wrong decision.
Right.
You can't fail. And then it's double for me because I can't fail. I'm going to tell you the one most important thing. My job was my thing. Yeah. I had a good job. I was making good money.
Right.
When my mom passed away, said, God, I can't lose this job. If I lose this job, I lose everything. God took the job from me. Granted, of course, that's because I was relying on that job more than I was relying on him. Right. And I can see that now. I was like, God, he took the job from me because he wanted me to know that I got you. That job don't have you. I have you. And when he did that, I hadn't worked for almost 2 years. But now on and off I have, but it's just been like crazy how he had me every step of the way. My bills still being paid. Even though I know things are going on in the background where like family and friends doing things, thinking all these things, but trying to take things and trying to make me fall. But I still was succeeding because God had me in the whole time. and I love it. I love the relationship I'm getting with him now. But
I think it was a time for them to put you where you have to like put your back against the wall, so that way you can realize your true strength,
how strong I really am,
and know that you can get yourself through anything, and you can, and you're doing it, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
That's like an amazing thing. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people would be. You don't
sure
even want to know where they would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just know we're one of the chosen ones. Look, many are chosen. You know what I'm saying?
You're called.
You feel me? So it's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I got you.
Many are called, few are chosen. You feel me? That's how that go. Many are called, few are chosen. You know, and I like to look at myself as one of the chosen ones, and you got to look at yourself in the same light, is because you're taking yourself, and it's like you were in a state where you could do whatever you wanted to, however you wanted to do it, and you chose to make something else in your life become greater than you. So your why became greater than your fear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of you, and like you're doing a good job, and just keep going, man.
I'm doing my best. I mean, every day it's a trying time, especially it's just like family. You know, they think they're gonna be there for you, like you think, like they say they will be, but then it's like, whoa, like dang, I'm here by myself. But you know, I'm getting through with as long as I know I got God and I got him who's always my son, who's always, well, I say my son now, even though he's not my son, I call him my son because I've been there for him.
He's your son,
and so I'm like, as long as I got him, I got everything I need, and I even got him saying, you know, as long as we're together, we're good. Yes, baby. As long as we're together, we're good.
Yeah. So, what would you say was the biggest obstacle in you becoming a parent?
I'm telling you again, like I said, one of the things I thought it was gonna be easy because I know who he is. I've known him all his life. I've raised him. I thought it was gonna be easier. I thought it would be, but it became harder for me spiritually and. I used to when it was by myself. Everything was prosperous. And everything was always good. But it's like the moment you get a kid, it's like you would think, God, you know, I'm doing something good. I'm taking somebody else's kid, and I'm doing all these things. God's going to bless me for these things. Granted, He will, but you're going to have to go through some things first to show that you're worthy of it. I guess you could say.
Let me ask you this question about, because you're to me you sound very religious. Like I'm more spiritual. So like the going to church thing, like when I lost my mom, for me, like I found like that thing that I was searching for that set me free, that wanted me, put me on that path to start healing myself, you know. So I'm wondering, like, did the church do that for you?
So you know, again, I was in church all my life. Yeah. So it was different for me because I didn't go to church for a year after my mom passed away. Right. Now that's different for me, right? Because I'm always at church. But it was the fact, and I used to tell my pastor's wife, I would say, I can't come. I mean, it's just because it's hard for me to be there without my mom being there too, and then without my sister being there as well. Because we went together. So I had to search through some things in order to get back to where I needed to be. But I got back to where I needed to be. But I mean, I needed to go through some and understand for myself the fact that I was never mad at God at all. But I was upset the fact that I can't go to church. I can't do what I love to do. I love to sing. I love to do all these things. I sing all the time. I sang my mom's funeral. And that was a hard thing to do. But I did it. And it was like I couldn't go. I didn't go to church for a year, but church has gotten me back to where I need to be. Yes.
So would you say that you value honesty, integrity, or loyalty?
Because I'm an honest person, I think I would value honesty more than anything else. Because I need someone who's going to be honest with me from the beginning. Don't lead me on. Don't sit there and tell me you want me, and then I'm pouring my heart into you, and then you're not giving me anything back. You're taking from me when I can be given to someone else. My son, other people who may need it. Right? I can't stand. When I say I can't stand a liar, I can't stand a liar, and that's one thing I can't stand. Honesty is going to be the number one for me because be honest. I feel like when people lie to me, I'm not worthy enough of the truth.
Yeah.
And it makes me fight even more for. It's like, dang, why can't I get the truth from you?
Sometimes it's hard for people to tell the truth. You know, you have to meet them where they are, and that's where it comes into you being able to discern whether a person is lying or telling the truth. So that way, if you start using your discernment, which you know you have, and when a person comes and tell you something, you have to watch their actions, not just their words, and then bit by bit, you'll start seeing it, and it'll come to you like a person will walk into your life, and you'll already be like, nah, I'm good.
I see that because before I used to think that if I pour out into a person,
right,
show them love, show them all that, I'll get what I'm wanting in return. But I've come to realize that that's not true. Because people will suffer from you, whatever. Right. They would take everything that you have.
Because you do that because that was the way you was raised, mm-hmm. and that's what you saw somebody showing somebody else love. Mm-hmm. But that's not how everybody was raised. So that's not how everybody shows love. You know,
being raised in a small town, were you raised in Hampton most of the time or no?
I mean, but I was a military brat though, so like we got there and then we stopped and we stayed. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like how my childhood trauma affected me with relationships, I was the person that would always chase somebody because I watched somebody in my life chase another person.
I got you.
So, I'm not buying nothing, but I'm chasing you. Right. And I'm dependable. I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's how I used to love, but I no longer chase. I replace. I was catching flights with no feelings, right. But now I'm good.
Well, for me, of course, I just feel like it's just more of the, small towns, of course, are different, and I feel like in every aspect than you see from a bigger city. We want to see each other succeed. We grew up with you. We see you on the streets. We say, hey, you look good. Might lie about them or whatever, say you look good when they look a hot mess. But because everybody needs a little encouragement sometimes, right? Yeah. So I feel like we want to see them succeed, and so we'll do what we can to help, and we won't want anything back from it because that's who we truly are. So me going into a big city, I was being that person. I wanted to see the next person succeed. I want to help them raise up. I want to see them go and be great. But here I am giving all my greatness to them, and they're taking it and not using it for greatness, but they're using it for just, you know what I'm saying?
But you want to know why? It's because you were trying to be judge, jury, and executioner. See, if you're going to be like that, like me, I go to cities, right? But all you got to do is plant that seed. I ain't got to water it. I ain't got to make sure it grows. Mm-hmm. You do what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about what they're doing because they still also have a choice. And that's where you was getting mixed up mentally because you're thinking just because small city, big city. No, I have some really good friends that are from the big city. Mm-hmm. Like some of my greatest friends now to this day was when I went to California and lost everything. Mm-hmm. Like they're my greatest friends to this day because they were there in my downfall. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then some of my other greatest friends are the ones that I went to college with. So it's about how you took the experience and what you did with it. Like, did you become an expert at it? And then after you become an expert at it, you have to be that example. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying to it's like you're trying to force people to be what you want them to be mentally, right? But they're not capable of it. So you have to let a person be on their own and then go back periodically and check on them. It's a control thing. You got that control thing for the bag. See? Because you look at it. It's a control thing, D, for real, man.
I get where you're coming from, and I see what you're saying. That's what I love to say about Geminis, right? I'm a Gemini. So. Oh, God. I like to say that I'm well-rounded. Like, I can see where you're coming from, right? Yeah. But sometimes I feel like it's hard for you to see where I'm coming from.
No, I see where you're coming from.
But some people don't, because I'm like, I can see where you're coming from, and I say, I see
where you're coming from because I'm acknowledging it, and I'm letting you know the reason why that upset you and that has hurt you is because you're sitting there and you're trying to think for them. Like you're dropping the knowledge, right? And even if you're holding their hand through it, some people you can't hold their hand through it. They gotta hit rock bottom before they rise up like the phoenix that they are and do what they're supposed to do. So I'm listening to what you're saying. Yeah. I'm just giving you that opposite look at it.
I get that.
Okay,
I get that. I mean, and plus I never thought I would be used. I mean, that's what it
was. It hurt your feelings.
That's what it
hurt your feelings
because here I am doing what I was taught to do.
Yeah,
and someone used me.
Can't stop for every parked car,
honey. I'm starting to run cars over nowadays because at the end of the day, it's just like, why am I keep stopping? Of course, and I'm getting everything stolen from me, but yet Okay, honey, move out the way. Beep beep. I'm coming through.
Hey.
Cause I ain't got time for it. No, won't have time for it.
Hey, I feel you on that. But that's why I'm just beeping a different way. Like I'm trying not to come from anger so much, like because that's what gets me to my drive. So now it's like I'm trying to come from a different space.
But
man,
we can always harness that anger to something else, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, of course, the thing, before, back in the day, we used to sit here and we had debates about everything, right?
Right.
You see, as you say, I see that.
Because we growing, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got a different purpose in life. My purpose now isn't always be right. My purpose is to bring awareness. I'm a healer. So it's time for me to let the world know how I healed. Because I'm there. I'm getting there, and I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you, too. I mean, I can tell, I agree with you because there's a friend that I'm talking to right now and they're going through some things. Mm-hmm. They lost a lot. They lost 2 kids in a house fire, the husband as well. And they're going through some things. And I'm letting you know I'm there for you. I know exactly where you're coming from. And nobody wants to go through some things. Nobody wants to hear something from somebody who don't know nothing.
Who ain't never been through it, right? That's what people don't understand. Talking about how you gonna tell me how to be homeless if you ain't never been homeless and made it through. Trust, you can ask me. I got the answers, baby. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, but a person that has never been through nothing, they always want to talk at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk at you. I'm trying to come through you. I'm trying to feel you and understand
that I know
and
exactly
communicate.
Where you're coming
you know what I'm saying? With you to let you know that there is somebody out here that does actually care. It's not just a whole world where people just don't care. No, because I'm one person that cares. You know what I'm saying? From all walks of life. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. If you're a part of my mission, then no, you'll be there.
And that's what I love about it as well. People don't understand. I love people. Even though I've been through so much in hell, but I love people still. And I'm not a judgmental type person. Like, I don't care what you've been through. I want to know why. How'd you get here? You know what I'm saying? I understand you a little bit more. Like, how'd you get here? What made you do this or get here or whatever? And what are your dreams and ambition?
Right.
If I know what your dreams and ambition is, then I can kind of help possibly move you towards wherever you want to go. Right? Mm-hmm. Let you know, hey, you want to be a...
whatever it is.
You're right. You
gotta go research it and find it out because you don't even know.
I was laughing because I was gonna say you want to be whatever you said. No, don't talk about that on here now.
Oh no, don't talk about that.
So I was like, that's why I laughed.
Talking about
so we're gonna you want to be a reader, a writer? Be a writer. I can help you. Let's get some paper. Let's get. Let me go buy you. I have 2 laptops. Let me give you one. Write down what you need. It's a memoir. I want to be a person that gives back to those people who have lost so much and people don't see them.
I feel you.
Because there's a lot of people.
That's why I did attention, man.
And I feel like, and I know with me, because I've been where they are. It's like God took me to where they are. So therefore, I feel like sometimes we go through things in life because God needs us to go through some things in order to help people. Because it's not always about us.
Yes.
So for me, I had to go down to the depths to where those people were, right? Mm-hmm. Granted, I was hurting as well.
Not where those people were.
Well, where we were.
Because
I was
take accountability for it. You talking like you the Messiah.
I take accountability for things I do.
Yeah, take accountability. What you just said, but you say you take accountability, right?
So where we were.
Right.
And but I feel like, not everybody can go there and come back.
Right.
So because I was able to go there and come back and see things for what they were, now I know how to help. Now I know what I need to do in order to put in the work to help those people who can't, to help us. Well, see, I'm not there anymore. So that's why I say that's why I say those, because I'm not there anymore. Mm-hmm. If when I was there, I could say we, but now that I'm not there anymore, to help them get to where I am now.
But the only way that you can help them get back is by realizing that you're not there anymore, but you're still on your way up.
Right.
So it's just be an example. That's
right. I'm not. Yeah, I know.
Just be an example.
Honey, I know. I tell people all the time, God's still working on me. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. I'm putting in the work for it, right? And so, I'm realizing that people don't put in the work. When they don't put in the work, they don't get the results that they want. I use this analogy all the time. My table was laid out. You had the chicken dressing. You had the ham hocks. You had the pinto beans, cornbread, macaroni and cheese, potato salad, all that stuff out of here. But then, of course, they wanted to come in and say, "Oh, I don't eat that."
You sound like me, but I don't eat. Listen, sometimes, okay, so like for real, in some cases it's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that that person doesn't eat that. Maybe they just want to do something together. Maybe I just don't want that. Maybe that's high cholesterol. Or maybe, you know, they just ain't my type of thing.
They don't want my food.
You know,
they want
you know, I'm not going to take accountability for that one. You know,
they just want all sweets instead of the good stuff that was supposed to help you grow. They don't want the collard greens and net bones and
So then why you don't start just showing them the certain things first? Don't give it all to them.
That was my
See, when you give a person everything, they're like, oh.
That's what
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take from here. I'm gonna take from here. I'm not gonna give nothing. I don't have to give you anything back for this. I'm just gonna take everything. You know, and you know, some people are vultures.
That's true. I mean, I learned that too because I gave them everything they wanted. They didn't. Listen, they didn't work.
So you out here spoiled,
right, honey? Look.
So being from a country man, you spoiled. I mean, you know what I mean?
I was spoiling people. Put my head up on the hill. I'm just kidding. But
oh my God, I'm not gonna fool you. I'm not gonna fool you. I'm not doing that.
I was spoiling people, of course, and I was because I give too much in the beginning. Yeah. And then they don't have anything to work for because I've given you everything of all of me. My intention was to show you that this is what I mean. I got my table already set. You can eat with me if you want to or not, but you can. I mean, you don't have to.
But they still need to bring something to the table.
And I'm running that too. They got to bring. I can't do everything.
Yeah, like what the hell? Like even bring the rolls, the drinks, something. What 3 words would you want your legacy to be?
I want to be powerful, but I want it to also be movable as well too. I want to be so powerful that it moves people. Okay. To make a change. So powerful, movable, and motivational.
See, I told you just need a little bit of help.
Yeah, because I want it to motivate people to get up and to make a difference, to do something, change. We have the ability to change whatever we want to, right? But we have to want to do that from inside.
We got to be the change that we're seeking. Starts with us. I
was just talking about something the other day about how I know one of your other podcasts I was watching. And you were speaking about how, you know, within the black community, how we have to make changes with those changes and stuff, right? And I would say all the time, you know, we want it to stop being white on black, you know, like y'all said, white on black and all these other things as well. But we are still killing each other. Yeah. We can't stop it. You can't. Generational curses.
Right. We have to break that first. We have to figure out how to cipher that out. And then we can worry about the other crimes. Well, we still got to worry about the other crimes too. But that right there is really detrimental to our survival in our race. You know what I'm saying? And it really coincides with us being able to get along with all other races too. Well, because if I was watching a TikTok the other day and this dude was on a podcast and he was saying he's Mexican and he was like when he first got here they warned him about us.
Who about
black people? Like we were aggressive and mean.
We are aggressive.
But he noticed that when he got into the neighborhoods that he had to move in that were African American, we were the most helpful and nice people ever. So it's like it's got to start with us. We got to start treating each other right for them to realize that we do treat people right. You know what I'm saying? And it's only a small handful of us that really needs to be corrected and changed and modified and evolved. You know what I'm saying?
I got an interview one time with a probably an all-white attorney accounting firm, and I was like, you know, most people don't interview me because of my grade point average wasn't 3.5, and I didn't do all. I said, but when you interviewed me, I said you got to know me, didn't you? She said, yeah. I said because you then realized that I came home to help take care of my mother while going to school. Now, most people, when I first went to Jacksonville, one of my professors said that, hey, if you're going to do this, you can't work because accounting takes a lot of time. I was like, who? I mean, I gotta work, right?
You don't eat, baby.
And I'm gonna get this degree too because that's what my heart. This is what I want, right? Right. And they didn't understand that, so my teachers they said, "I'm so proud of you. You did great. You know, even through helping your mom and all these other things, you still succeeded in getting this degree." Right? I told you. I mean, you can't stop me. Y'all can't stop me from getting this degree. I'll come to school. I'll come to class every day. I may make C's, but C's get degrees, honey. That degree still says Dantarius Jamal Prothro, Bachelor's of Science in Accounting.
That's what's up, man. I'm proud of you.
Right. Who?
See, my mom was crazy. She wouldn't let us come home with nothing less than a B.
Right. Well,
and that stuck with me though. Like that's one thing. That's what I don't understand how these kids can be so bad nowadays. Like I ain't gonna lie, I feared my mom. I don't care. I was in college talking about something. Yo, I should not go do that because my mama's gonna be mad. Right. Like I don't understand nothing else other than that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just don't be understanding how we make decisions, and it's like, where's the home training? Right. Like, Like, where is it? Like, at some point, we got to point at the parents, man. Because my mama was unorthodox, but it got the job done.
I loved your mom. She was so cool. Every time I go there, she's like, "Get out of my house, get out, just go, on, get out." I'm like, "Mr. Bun, why? Just get on out." Nope. Well, here he comes. Jamal can tell you can't come over there. We have no company. I'm like, "Well, I have no company. I'm family. I can come in."
Take them shoes off, baby. She already knew
I was gonna come over there and act up.
Stop playing. All right. What advice would you give this generation?
Stop acting a fool.
Yeah.
Like, be something, do something. Be something, do something. Be the change that you want to see. At the end of the day, because we want so much. And the thing about it is, being kids of God, even though some of us may claim it, some of us may not, but we are still kids of God, right? We can have whatever we want. Mm-hmm. He gave it to us. He gave us free will. I love that saying. He gave me free will, and I can do what I want to do. But yet we live in a world where they don't want us to have free will. Mm-hmm. They want to keep us comboggled and comboggled. Look at me, just making up words, honey. Comboggled. They want to keep us comboggled.
Combustible,
right? Comboggled and combustible, something.
Contained.
There you go.
Contained. We'll just say contained.
They want to keep us contained to where we can't be our authentic self and free. So whenever they see people who are being free and authentically them, they want to contain them. They want to. Oh, you want to do? Honey, listen. My wings are too big to be. My wings are too big to contain.
I think really sums up to the fact that I think that the advice that I would give the younger generation is stop thinking that everything that's bad is good.
And stop thinking that everybody owe you something.
Who cares? Like, why would I want to follow somebody that, okay, you made a bunch of money, but then you got caught? I don't want to follow the rich white person or somebody who was behind the scenes,
right?
And they still ain't get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm gonna go for something bad, right? You know what I'm saying? Other than that, just go for the good in life. Everything negative is not like roll. Let's go. Let's put some positivity out. Let's start doing some positive things. We gotta give them new role models, new mindsets. We gotta change. We gotta change them from survival mode to revival mode.
Well, they also need to stop thinking that people owe them something.
Yeah, that too.
Because they were like, oh, I was talking to somebody the other day.
Well, in fact, they did not ask to be here. If you look at it statistically, with the kids that we're talking about now, a lot of them are growing up without parents at all.
Well, that's true.
Because a lot of people were just having kids and just being like, oh,
you feel me?
I'm just going whatever. So you got to look at it from that way too. But I hear what you're saying. But sometimes if that's the environment that they're growing, that's all they really know.
Well, we have kids having kids.
True, we've been having that.
But that's why they don't have anybody raising them, because there are some kids who are. Don't get me wrong. Don't ever let me think that child pregnancy, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, what you want to do. As long as you have the baby, you can take care of the baby. Blah 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 blah. But when we have the grandparents or the parents or the kids who's having kids, trying to raise a kid, and we know they're older.
Yeah, they're tired already.
Right. It's like
they just want to buy stuff.
They want to spoil the kid. They want to give them whatever they want. Here, come over grandma's house, run around, go on back to your parents' house.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got time for it. But that's what it is. That's the problem. That's the problem with society nowadays. We have kids that wasn't raised, like you said, wasn't raised themselves.
Right.
And then they don't know how to raise their kids.
Right.
And then they want to be their kids' friends.
And they want to be their kids' friends. Yeah, like I don't care.
Let's go to the. I said, if I was my mom at the club, I would have left.
I got nieces and nephews, and I'm not their friend. Yeah, I love you. I'm gonna let you do something. You might get away with a little something. But I bet you, if I done told your ass,
right?
The look, baby. It's the look. You know what I'm saying? Like
you saw earlier today when my son was over there. I said,
right. You feel me? You have to instill that in them. I'm not saying you gotta beat your kids. You know what I'm saying? Because my mama had to beat me. Like, no, say I got whoopings, right? You know what I'm saying? When I did stuff really bad, but my mama ain't with me. I genuinely was scared of my mama.
I
was genuinely scared of her.
She was something to be scared of for a while.
And her opinion mattered to me.
It did.
It's like now the kids, their parents' opinions don't matter to them.
It's like,
oh no, if I ask you for the PlayStation 5, you don't get it from me, I'm about to tear some shit up. No, I'm about to whoop you.
I wish.
I'm about to tear you up. Like, bro, you would be amazed at how some of these kids act. I was in Walmart the other day. Man, this little girl just sprawled out. Over the little roll-up candies, bro. Because her mama let them eat them right then. They was in the bucket, but she wouldn't eat them right then. I was like, oh my God, get your baby.
I'm like a genie, honey. I wish.
I would have snatched her
because
ass up.
He already know. Hey, listen, you get what you're already spoiled, but you know better.
Right.
Like, listen.
Spoil them on the right stuff, not the wrong stuff. Material stuff doesn't matter. Spoil them on the other ways, like coming to their games or
be there for them.
Being there,
teaching
them something. Yeah. Like, you know, what do you feel needs to be brought to the world's attention?
Well, I mean, we can bring to the world's attention all we want, but it still happens. I would say violence.
Violence.
Because you have all type of violence. You have abuse, violent abuse like that. You have people killing people. You have drug abuse. I say abuse. We'll say abuse because you have all type of abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have drug abuse. You have emotional abuse. You have physical abuse. You have all these types of abuse that happen, and they happen in different forms. People don't understand that.
Mm.
It's like, oh, they beat me. Yeah, honey, we can see that you got a black eye. We got you got beat today. You know, or you know. Somebody walking down the street and say, "Oh, they on drugs. Yeah, they abusing drugs." We can tell, but we don't talk about it.
Right.
And then they say, "Oh, we need to send them to rehab." Not everybody needs rehab. Some people need to go through what they're going through, and hopefully they don't kill themselves. But they say they know what they're doing, right? But some people don't, because you never know. People with the drugs nowadays, honey, you never know what could happen. People are lacing stuff with so much stuff, and people dying, and it's
just that you never really know how they even got on the drugs. So it's like, I don't judge people because I have people in my life, you know, that were, you know, supposed to be role models to me and were, you know, straight crackheads. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that I went out and became one. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Attention. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up at sunflowerspeaks@gmail.com. And also go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.